Hey everybody, it's Haydes here. How the devil are you? We are back and I'm here with George Medina.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We are here on Shoot the Ish, and we're going to be talking today about plot holes. You want to tell them what plot holes are, Hades? I wasn't, I come unprepared as I normally will,
Yep,
so you're
yep.
just going to have to, back me up on this one. Plot
That's
hole.
fine, that's fine.
Come
I've come
on.
prepared. I've got a pad, I've got a pen, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
some of us did the homework. Um, so what plot holes are is when you're watching a film and you're into the film and you're going, hey, this is a great journey I'm on. I'm on this ride with you. And then all of a sudden you go, sorry, what just happened? And then you kind of think, there was a thing that didn't quite make sense there. What occurred? What occurred?
Hmm.
And in a nutshell, that is a plot hole. There's something that doesn't quite make sense. And why doesn't it make sense? Because maybe the editing, maybe the writing, maybe, you know, the editing.
Yeah. You know what? I think you nailed it. I think you get a star for the
Thank you.
homework there, my friend.
My work's going on the fridge.
That's it.
Uh,
That's it. So that is what a plot hole is, ladies
mm.
and germs. It is just what Hades said. I'm not going to repeat it because let's be honest, I wasn't paying attention. But yes, that is what a plot hole is. For those who are watching, hearing, listening, whatever, wherever you are, probably know about these things because you watch the movies and you're like, hey, yeah, you know what? We would like you to not just subscribe to the channel, obviously, but also comment. Comment below. Tell us what you think about the plot holes that we are going to bring up. Share the video, do all that fun stuff. Help the channel grow in that way. So let's get started, though. Please, let's do this. You ready?
That's right. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
You have your pen, you have your pad, you have your pen,
My
everything.
pen, I have my pad. So
All
we are
right.
talking comic book movie plot holes, and we are going to start with the one that you said to me, which is in The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Tell me about it, man.
So in The Dark Knight, for those who remember the movie, the Joker gets captured, right? He gets captured. They put him in jail. There's a really cool scene where he says to Commissioner Gordon, he's sitting in the dark, but the Joker's sitting in the dark. Commissioner Gordon's trying to get information out of him. He's basically telling him, whatever, get out of here. Commissioner Gordon says, fine. He unlocks the cuffs. He walks off. He says, and the Joker says, oh, good cop, bad cop, huh? He's like, not exactly. The lights turn on and bam, Batman hits him, pushes his head down. He's like, hey, man, don't start with the head. It confuses the criminal or whatever. And they go back and forth and do all this thing. Really cool scene. Batman picks him up. You remember, starts beating him down, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, the Joker's plan was to get captured, right? Eventually, he was going to escape, right? And the whole thing was going to blow up. Great plan. But do you guys remember the part where the officer comes in and stands inside the room? And it's again another really cool scene. And the joke, I mean, Heath Ledger just kills this role. He says to him, "Do you want to know how many of your friends were cowards?" Because he tells him, "I killed 6 of you. How many of your friends have I killed?" The guy tells him 6. He goes 6. He gives him that 6, that look, right?
Yeah.
And he says, "You want to know how many of them were coward?" Anyway, the guy starts beating him up. The very next, they flash back to this big commotion about who they're gonna save, and then the Joker's out. He has the guy in like a chokehold, and he's like, give me your phone. I want to make a phone call. I just want to make a phone call. That plan doesn't work if that officer is not inside the room. What if the officer was outside the room? What happens then? It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah. It is that thing, and it's like, the whole "I'm entitled to my phone call" thing. But you've just been left in the room. No one's dealing with you. You're crazy fool. Look at you. Right?
Yeah.
I agree. The plot hole is literally a door. Because he's on the other side of it.
He's on the other side of it.
Yeah. It is that the masterminded the whole thing, but including where everyone was.
It needed so many things to happen in order for it to work. And so that's the plot. Now let's play a little Hades advocate. See what I did there? You see what I did there,
Nice,
Hades?
nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
got you. I got you. A little Hades advocate. What if maybe even if the guy was outside the door, the Joker's plan was I'm just gonna bang on this door so hard and yell at him from inside this door that he's gonna have to come in and I'm gonna beat him up. What if maybe that was plan B? How
But
deep?
yeah,
But how thick is that door? How thick is that glass?
also, and then how thick is that cop? Because he knew how to get to him.
Right. Yeah.
So then you've got to say that he knew he was going to get to him. He knew that the cop was going to drop his guard. He knew that he could wind him up enough to throw fists. He knew all of these things, and he knew he could overpower him, and he knew that he could win the fight, and then say, "Give me your phone." That's quite a few things to know. Like, I don't even know everything I'm putting on my sandwich when I'm making lunch. I'm not even that prepared. Like,
Right.
how does he know?
Yeah. How does he know?
So I agree with you there. To me, that's not just a plot hole. That's various plot variation. That's tiny plot gaps here or there. It's the Swiss cheese
Of plot holes.
that should have been in my sandwich that I didn't put in.
I
But yes, I totally see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
There's loads, little bit, but it does look again. It's like, you know, the whole thing with the Joker getting captured, and as we were talking about before we started this, it leads on because sometimes Marvel and DC sometimes, very rarely copy each other. Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Yes.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
But it's also a similar thing that happens in Avengers Assemble, where Loki gets himself captured because he wanted to go aboard the helicarrier, and the game was Banner and making him lose his temper. And I've come from another dimension, and my plan is this. Again, so many variables within that. So he would have to count on them to know exactly where the Hulk is, to get in there, to bring him to the helicarrier, to turn up at the same time. You know what I mean? And let's be fair, times are weird, and we know time zones. We know time zones.
You know,
They're a pain in the derriere people. They're very, very difficult. Sometimes you go, I'll see you at 7. My 7, your 7, their 7, who's 7?
Yeah, and then nobody shows up because nobody could figure out which 7 it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then we don't, and then that's it. We don't speak.
Yeah.
So, but it's all of those variables. How did he know he was going to be there? How did he know he was going to get there at the same time? How did he know all of these? Like, how did he know he was going to get locked in that thing? There's loads.
Yeah.
It's another variable.
Absolutely.
It's another plot hole. It's another weak link in the Marvel Cinematic Universe chain.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But again, it's very, very similar to the Joker thing. I'm going to get captured.
Yeah.
This is the crack.
Yeah. It seems like it happens during the bad guy's plans, right? I mean, we have more plot holes, but these two plot holes seems to be all right. Well, we have to give them a plan, and as writers, you're trying to make it make sense, but then there's that one thing that kind of like, and almost like you have to do it in order for the movie for the story to keep going, right? It's a plot device that becomes a plot hole kind of thing, because like you said, Loki needed the Hulk. I mean, he had to know that he was there, and how could he know that he was there? How could he know? There's no. They didn't even tell us that. Is that a Loki power? Did they tell us that? Like, is that how else would he have known? He doesn't. He has to be like
Loki's low-key power.
Loki's low-key power.
Thank you. Puns.
One for you, one for me. We're on a roll today. We're on a roll. That's good stuff.
But no, it's true. It is true. And again, it's all of those variables. Just all of these things have to line up for that to be the thing.
Yes.
So again, if for people who are watching this, in the comments, tell us who you think the bad guy plans that don't make sense, because that's where we're at right now. The Joker mad genius claims he doesn't make plans. Lawyer claims he's a dog chasing cars. He's not. He's in the car. You see, exactly. And then you've got the Joker and Loki. So tell us the bad guys that you think their plans with a plot hole.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Tell us. We want to know.
So then I think for Avengers as well, for me, is the plot holder is the Hulk's temper, and it is the Hulk's. I'm always angry, but how angry? Because earlier you were more angry and couldn't control. So are there levels of Hulk anger? Is there like a miffed Hulk?
Yeah.
Is there a slightly annoyed Hulk?
Yeah.
Is there that, you know? Is there those things? So like earlier when you're angry on the helicarrier, you can't control it. You're like, "Rah, everyone, cool, Hulk smash." But then later you just change by yourself.
Yeah.
And
no, I agree.
You know, and you've got more control when you change by yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not Hulk smash. Is it Hulk mildly dent? Like what's going on? You see what I mean, dude?
Yeah, it was one of those things when I remember when he says the line where that's the secret. I'm always angry. That's the secret. I'm always angry. But it's like it was a cool line, but again, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because he isn't always angry, is he? I mean, he's talking to them he's mild-mannered. I mean, he doesn't look angry to me, unless he knows how to hide anger, and he's so good at hiding the anger. But yeah, I agree with you on that. That's another one. That's another plot hole where it's like, what level of anger are we talking about here? There was no rule. And listen, a little side note, and again, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording. I was telling you about, sometimes you have to suspend disbelief, right? You just, it's got to be that part of like when you're watching a movie, you're like, this is a movie. It's it's just for gags. It's just for us to have a good time. But the story has to make sense. There are things within the story, there are narrative rules that have to be abide by. Otherwise, the story falls apart. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. So that is one of those things where like it has to make sense. The one thing that you watched. I mean, we know we've been reading comics for a long time. Yeah, man. The Hulk, right? The Hulk becomes this huge 7-foot, maybe more monster. Clothes rips off. How is it that that Banner's clothes still fits that huge, and the only thing that cuts off are just they just become shorts? There's no freaking way, dude. There's no freaking way. But I'll suspend disbelief on that. I'm like, fine, I'll roll with that because I'll roll with that. But what you're talking about, I can't. That's gone too far.
Exactly. So again, we can believe these people have got superpowers.
Yeah, sure.
But if you watched a film called Fantastic Four and there was 3 of them, you'd say, but that doesn't make sense. Same thing. This is the same thing, people. Some of it, okay, we can accept, that we don't, because no one wants to see Hulk ass. They don't want to see like big green crack. That you don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to see that. And you certainly don't want to see Hulk junk. So that's fair enough, So, so we'll do that. But yeah, with this, it just doesn't quite make sense. It doesn't quite make sense. Sort out your anger issues, Hulk. Come on, meditate, man, meditate. So we will delve further into some MCU plot holes. But first of all, we are going to go to a nice commercial break and have a word from our sponsors.
If you're a writer, podcaster, artist, or indie creator of any kind, you'll know what a struggle it can be to find creative services at an affordable price. And that's where Gig comes in. The Global Indie Group has everything you need under one roof. You can connect with publishers, writers, editors, artists, videographers, musicians, composers, voiceover artists, podcasters, and more.
Hi, I'm Lori Calcaterra, and I'm on Gig.
Hi, this is Ben from Comicbook Squares, and we're on Gig.
This is George Medina, and I'm on Gig.
Hi, I'm Morgan, and I'm on Gig.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Matt, and we're Hops Geek News,
the geek-centric beer-loving pop culture podcast.
And we're on Gig.
Cheers.
Hi, I'm Letzi, and I'm on Gig.
Hi, I'm Witty, and I'm on Gig.
We're on Gig.
Head to globalindiegroup.com now and check it out.
And we are back. Thank you for sticking with us. That was a word from our sponsor. That was a Gig. You may not have seen me in the advert, but I'm Hades, and I'm also on Gig. So
that works. You
saw Mr. Medina there. You saw Mr. Medina.
Yes,
yeah.
you did.
Yeah, no.
I looked a little serious, I think, in that. I should have smiled a little more. I was a little too serious about being on.
Very
Gig.
professional. I enjoyed it, mate. You were very professional.
Professional. I guess I was.
You
I
were
appreciate
poised. You were poised.
or nervous. Either one. I mean, it worked. But for those who are wondering, what the hell? I mean, you obviously saw the advert and you want to thank the sponsor. But if you are looking to create a comic and you have no idea where to start or who to hire, how do I hire people? Join Gig. Find us. We are there. Letterers, writers, inkers, colorists, podcasts like what you're watching right
publishers,
now.
And also
publishers.
There's film marketing on there as well. So if you've got a film script, there are indie filmmakers on there. If you're trying to market your stuff and you want a videographer, there are videographers on there that can help you with it. Gig can help you with the funding. It can help you with the marketing. You can go from point A to point Z very quickly. I don't know if you say Z or Z. I get confused. You say Z, I say Z.
I say Z, you say Z. I've heard Zeta. Zeta is what I also use, but yeah.
But you can find everything you want that will help you on your journey. It removes any spam, any bots, any harsh words. There's no one there giving you nasty critiques. It's all there for your benefit. Get yourself to Gig, people. globalindiegroup.com.
Yes, indeed.
Shameless plug. So we are going to carry on talking about some of the plot holes in comic book films, and we're going to stick with the MCU for now. We're going to stick with the MCU.
Next up.
So next up, another member of the Avengers. We have got Mr. Tony Stark, Mr. Iron Man himself, who I'm a huge fan of. The character itself, but also obviously Robert Downey Jr. It sparked the MCU. It's a bloody brilliant film. The first Iron Man is phenomenal. The second Iron Man was there too. The third Iron Man is a really good film. But the plot hole, and it goes across more than one film. If you could have taken the shrapnel out of your chest in the third film and you were okay, then why the hell were you poisoning yourself in Iron Man 2? Why are you killing yourself in the second film if you could have just gone for surgery? And also another question / plot hole / thing is, once you had that removed, do you still have the big silver cylinder in your chest? Because that is a hell of a gap to fill.
Yes. That is huge.
That's quite a gap you've got to fill out there.
Almost as big as the plot hole you're talking about right now.
Yeah. So see, none of it makes sense.
None of it makes sense.
But if you're watching this, RDJ, big fan.
Hey, listen, what he did for the MCU, it's unbelievable. I mean, without him, if they had cast the wrong person in that role, the MCU probably wouldn't have gone past that movie.
Correct. Right? And obviously the wrong person, Tom Cruise. I would have not been the right person. I heard the rumor that it was going to be Tom Cruise, and I imagine if it had have been him, Iron Man wouldn't fly, but he would have run really fast from things.
Right. Yeah.
So you needed the perfect amount of obnoxious and cocky and humble and brilliant, and he was all of those things. So I love him as Iron Man, 100%.
Yeah.
But it does not make sense if you're so smart.
Yeah.
Why would you?
That doesn't make sense. Again, and going back to, and you tell me if this is a plot hole or not. And I'm going off script a little bit here.
We're shooting the ish. We're shooting the ish.
Yeah, there is no script. What script? I just remembered this. In Iron Man 2, you mentioned Iron Man 2. And I forget the name of the villain, but it was Mickey Rourke. That was Whiplash. Never, and again, you tell me this. Do you think it's a plot hole, or this is just George? You missed that. But his suit basically was just these metal, he was whiplashing, but his skin was exposed. Why didn't they just shoot him in the chest or shoot him in his body and get rid of him, or even his head? Like at that point, this guy's like causing major damage to whatever's happening there. He's in a race, you know what I mean? And nobody's doing anything about, disabling this man. But here's the thing. Happy hits him with the car and nothing happens to him. Now I get it. Superheroes, a superhero movie, suspend disbelief. But do we call that a plot hole, or is that just, hey man, it's a comic book movie, bro? Like, guys don't get shot in the face. Even look at James Bond. How many times he's gotten away with stuff?
True.
Is it a plot hole, or is it more just just suspend disbelief? That's what this is.
I think it goes to the suspend disbelief kind of thing, because it's one of those things where it's you've got someone who doesn't have superpowers versus someone who does, and then they'll punch them, and then they'll go, "Oh, that hurt." And, but you should all go, "Oh, I'm dead." That's normally like I've tripped up my stairs before and like banged my shin, and gone, "Oh, you motherfucker," and I'll limp for a bit. I mean, I'll be honest, people. I'm pretty tough. Okay, don't let that story fool you. I'm a tough guy.
You are.
I'm just saying, I'm tough-ish, maybe. But if Thor hits you with a hammer, suit of armor or not, you're gonna die. So it's the same thing.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, same thing. If I get hit with a car, chances are, especially, so he hit him 4 times? Reverse hit.
Right. Yes.
That's gonna move some organs around, dude. That's gonna move some organs.
That's gonna do something. I mean, the man didn't even have a scratch on him, no blood, nothing. So that's one of those things where, like, is it a plot hole, or is it, and I think that's part of this conversation as well, plot holes and all that other stuff. But for the sake of what we're doing here, we're going plot holes. That's not a plot hole. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
No. It's a valid point. The point being that he should have looked like a tube of toothpaste by the time that car had hit him 4 times. End of story. So, fact. Sticking with the MCU again. Sorry, MCU, but you made so many films. It's not my fault. Sticking with the MCU, we're going to look at another character who I love, another actor that I love. It is Ant-Man with the awesome Paul Rudd. The awesome Paul Rudd.
Oh, yeah.
But it is the plot hole of weight versus size. I know most people have already gone, we know this one. Well, that's fine. I know this one, but it bugs me, okay? It's annoying.
Speak on it.
Exactly. So it's that thing where it's saying that no matter your size, so he can be, I was going to say 6 foot. Paul Rudd's 5'9" if he's anything, right? But you can be 5'9", and then you can be the size of an ant, but your punch will have the same impact because you carry the same weight.
Yes.
Because the molecules inside you are just getting closer together, or the atoms or some shit. I didn't do science, I'm not sure. Right?
Yes.
But that means, though, that he carries the same amount of weight and so on and so forth. And it's shown by when he falls from the building and he lands on top of the car, and even though it's a dink, but he still makes a dent because he carries the weight. Fair. That's very interesting. But does it make sense during the rest of the film? Let's investigate. No. Done. Because so during the film, you see, for example, Thomas the Tank Engine become really, really big and smash through the house.
Yes.
Well, no, because he should have weighed the same as when it was tiny. So technically, it wouldn't have broken a wall. It wouldn't have smashed through anything. It would have been really light, but just huge. True. So you've got the tank, which should have been like massively weighed down and was tiny, and then you've got Thomas the Tank Engine that was the toy that was huge and light. So these two things should have been the other way around. They should have been the other way around. It makes the most sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense.
And I feel like it's not one of those things where it's like you guys suspend disbelief, because the rule was already set. The rule was that he was going to be the same weight, whether he's big or small. It didn't matter. He was going to be the same weight. So the rule was already set. So so now you can't break the rule. The rule can't be broken just for a fact, just because you want to make it look cool that this tank, now when it gets bigger, it does that. That doesn't matter. You got to stick to the rule at this point. Otherwise, it becomes a plot hole.
The other thing within the Ant-Man world that doesn't make sense is lots of things, but is the quantum realm.
I like this one. Yes.
Yes.
Let's do this one. I like this one.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I enjoyed this one. So the quantum realm, between Infinity War and Endgame, Ant-Man is stuck in the quantum realm for what, 5 years? Is it?
5 years.
And then
Right,
to
yeah,
him, he said it was like 5 hours.
yeah. 5 hours. Yes, it was like 5 hours.
So he hasn't aged other than 5 hours, and now his daughter's like much older. You know, oh, you've got so big. Oh, right, nice, fine. Then why, in the sweet name of hell, did Janet Van Dyne age?
Yeah.
Now, granted, you know, Michelle Pfeiffer is actually younger than Michael Douglas. She still aged. So even if you're saying that she aged 5 hours for however many years.
Okay, so 5 hours, 5 years, that's an hour a year, right? Let's say she was gone for 30 years. That's only 30 hours. That's just a day.
It's a day and change.
It's a day and some change, right? So it's like a day and lunch. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that far. Yeah. So absolutely a plot hole. Absolutely. I mean, love Michelle Pfeiffer. I love Michelle Pfeiffer in Scarface. Loved her there. I loved her as Catwoman. I think she's actually my favorite. I think she is my favorite Catwoman. If I had to pick a favorite Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer to me is probably the best Catwoman.
Yeah,
but she should not have aged in the quantum realm. That is a plot hole.
That's true. That's true. It does not make sense, people. It is a plot hole.
I agree.
Now,
yes,
this has brought onto an impromptu thing that's just popped into my head.
Oh, nice! I like impromptu things.
Exactly, because we're shooting the ish, people.
That's what we're doing. Shooting the ish. For those listening and watching, shooting the ish is what you're watching.
Exactly. How many people from the MCU have been, so for example, Michelle Pfeiffer is technically the first Wasp, but she was also Catwoman.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, Captain America, Human Torch. So there's so many. It's like, how many of them have been in multiple?
Yeah. They did Bane. I think Tom Hardy, right? Bane and Venom.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You have him.
That's true.
You have Jared Leto, Morbius, and Joker.
You've got that, and then you've got Christian Bale, Batman, and whatever the
what's
Thor.
his name? Yeah,
bald grey dude.
Cool name too, and now I can remember it. Oh, God the Butcher. What is it? Something the Butcher. God. Whatever. We will.
Dave the Butcher, maybe.
Joey the Butcher, whatever the hell his name was.
Yeah. You know Keith. Yeah. So he's in that. Who else has been in multiple? People put it in the comments. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a nice little impromptu one. I like that.
Yeah.
Batman and Daredevil. Ben Affleck played both. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Batman, you got Michael Keaton played Batman and Vulture.
See?
You know what I mean?
We could have done a whole show on this one.
This could have been a whole show, and it just went into a little, impromptu. But this is fine.
This is what happens when you shoot the ish. This is the thing, people. But yes, if again, people put it in the comments, say what you want to say about plot holes, and then who's been in which film, both universes, either universe. Maybe they were in like a Spawn film, or in fact, Spawn and Gamble in
the Dark Knight.
In the Dark Knight, and it brings us full circle. You're welcome.
There you are. There, I love it when it comes full circle. It's whatever that means. We want to say to the folks watching, make sure you follow us on our social media channels, because on there we are going to have basically polls asking what topics do you want to see on the show, and we're always going to put 2 up there. We want you guys to vote, and whatever wins are the ones that we're going to be putting out there. So make sure you do that. Follow us on all our social networks. That will be in the show notes when this airs. So check us out there.
Yes, indeed. Like and subscribe. Follow the channel. Check out our other shows as well. We've got Laurie Cunningham doing her drink and draw. We have Laurie Calcaterra doing the Anyone World Showcase. We know too many Lauries, it turns out. You can also join me for Nerds the Word, which is our game show. So if you want to come and join that, we do prizes and stuff there. But until next time, you want to come and shoot the ish with us. I've been Hades, and this has been good, man. This has been fun.
It's been great. This has been great. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Make sure you check us out. Go to anyoneworld.com and check out some of the comics. My comic is in there, Russ5377. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I'm done. I'm good.
But also, as well as going to anyoneworld.com, also go to asapimagination.com for the Our World stuff. I did some writings. They're in books and comics. Go and look. I'll put pictures up just of my stuff, not George's. It's fine.
Damn. Yeah, man, that's been a great time. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Laters. Bye.